As a well-known nostalgia merchant, I look back on football, and I remember I didn't used to bet in the old days. I mean, I couldn't at the time. I only started betting in 2015, and just like small. But when did you start betting first of all?
I think that was like 2 years.
2 years ago.
It's still young. But why would you even bet that time? It's not inside out what they call pool or something. That's
No,
what you used to bet now.
2015.
That's why I don't mean 2015. That's why you cannot bet then. Pool, you enter that.
You have to. There was no online betting like that back in the day.
Bro, I know if you lie to you since Game Center days. Don't they bet inside Game Center? Like, although that time, like, it was not really like popular betting among ourselves.
Yeah,
so, like,
of course. Yeah, true.
That mentality don't day from
there
day
was
one.
that.
But like online betting,
Online
maybe
betting.
like 2013.
Yeah.
But did you in any way like bet that early chance, like somebody win bet and maybe it's you and you just forgive the person? You know, so then they be like, "Oga, no can't get the money."
No.
After
You
you
must
was
collect
paying
money
you.
back.
I know they do all this kind of things. No.
I can't forget. I bet with someone on Twitter.
Did you have to
Probably
bet?
like 2015
Yeah.
when Juventus played Real Madrid. I think it was 2015.
Yes, now that
In
Ronaldo.
semi-final. Yeah, I bet that Tevez was going to score that day 30k, and Tevez scored. Until today, this person has not given me my money. If I catch
Call
you,
him out. man. Call him out.
if I
yeah.
catch
No, well,
you,
I thought you forgiven him.
no, I allowed it to go.
Yeah,
now.
bygone
But I
is
needed that
bygone.
money. I wanted that money, like, so I've done a lot for me back then. But oh well. But as someone who has been betting since 2013,
Yeah.
tell us. Like, I'm going to use COVID period as the
Don't
breaker.
use COVID though.
COVID.
COVID was defining all forms of
Yeah, I'm
logic.
saying like I think that
Uh-huh.
I noticed that a lot of things changed from that COVID period.
Yeah,
Like there's a before COVID and after COVID.
absolutely.
So now I'm saying, did you make more money or did you win more frequently before COVID in the older days?
Yeah.
Or have you been making more money in recent time?
It was then.
Then have you?
It was then.
It
Like,
was easier to predict.
It was easier to predict. You look at a Fergie Man United side, you just know that this game they won't score them.
Yeah.
They won't
Yeah.
score them. You just know that at Old Trafford they won't
Yeah.
score these guys. You can just predict that.
Or that if they go down 2-0, you just quickly go and
Go and
live
put
straight.
it. They will come back.
That
You already
kind of
know.
thing.
Maybe they are
Fergie
leading them 1-0. You already know that these
Yeah.
guys they will come back. Or there were some players that when they see some certain teams or more, Drogba and Arsenal, Drogba
Yeah.
to score. It
Yeah.
will happen.
Chelsea. Chicharito to always
Chicharito
score.
always score
Chelsea.
against
My-
Chelsea. Some
Yeah.
players,
Chelsea.
you just know that.
Messi to score every week.
That
Ronaldo
one,
score
yeah,
every
It's
that one.
not even a joke. There was a time
Ronaldo, Messi.
Yeah, Ronaldo, Messi to
There
score.
was a time myself and my brother we just enjoyed going out of the house to viewing center, like to just enjoy that
Enjoy. Banter.
culture,
Yeah.
banter, everything. And there was one man that I remember when he used to come. He does not. He's a Barca fan. He does not ask how many are we leading, how many Messi don't score. That's his question every week,
That's
and
his
he
own
always
problem.
gets a response. 2, if Messi don't score 2, Messi don't score 1.
Yeah.
Like imagine that 2012 when Messi did the 91. Imagine. Do you know how
Betting on
accurate
Messi
you would
to
have
score.
been if you were betting on Messi to score in every game?
Yeah.
You probably get like maybe 80% accuracy
Yeah.
if you were
so it
doing
was more
that.
predictable.
That's
It was
mad.
more really predictable then, I feel.
Well,
You
unlike now,
think
like
so?
we have games where players might go on some certain level of drought. Imagine like someone that used to bet on Rashford. You had to wait from March to this period.
Come on.
What about Anthony?
Why slandering Rashford?
Don't. Rashford is not really.
It's
Let,
not-
let's
Let's talk about the
let's talk
most
about
elite
serious
players.
players. Yeah, let's not talk
Please
about.
don't start
But, okay,
that.
let's
my
look
guy.
at
talking
last
about
season
my guy.
now.
But
Watkins was
last
scoring.
season,
Yeah.
This
even
season-
Haaland went on a 5-game drought.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that
There
was
you
last
go.
season, which is seen as
Yeah.
maybe a not so good season for him, even though he won
He
the
still
Golden
won
Boot.
the
His
Golden
first
Boot.
season, and even now,
Yeah.
you can bet Alan to score like every week.
And has already scored 7 now.
Yeah,
But even in
nine.
his first season, I think
That's
he had
got
like
nine. Yes,
three.
now
He had
with
like
the
3 or
extra
4
to 9.
games. Even in his first season, he had like 3 or 4
where
games
no,
that he
but
didn't
I
score.
mean,
Harry
you
Kane
can't
has
score
scored.
every
You can't
time.
score
Kane has
every
scored
To
7
be
in 2
honest.
games now.
To be honest, but again, okay, let's look at also the 2000s.
Yeah.
So there's the 2000s, there's the 2010s
Yeah.
before COVID, and then there's now. Was it also easier in 2000s to predict? In the prime of Thierry Henry, you know what's interesting?
Yeah.
The goal scorers of the 2000s,
Yeah.
they actually did used to score in at
Yeah.
least half their games.
Yeah, they will start bad in a couple games.
Yeah, but they didn't score in half. I actually crunched the numbers one time because I had a lot of time on my hands, and many of them weren't scoring in up to 50% of their games in a season, but they were still considered walkouts because that time consistency was a different.
It wasn't just about the numbers. It was also your performance on the pitch.
Because you really couldn't score that much then. Goals were not flying. If you look at, there's this graphic that they're always showing.
The trend has been showing, like the goals per season has been increasing per
exactly.
year.
So, do you think it was easier to predict? Maybe you predict Henry to have 2 shots on target.
That would have been much easier. But on the flip side, I think where it has gotten easier this time around is variety.
Yes.
Variety. Now we're talking about Henry, maybe Van Nistelrooy, and you were limited to those top guys.
Yeah.
In a way, now you can say Oli Watkins 2 shots on target,
and also
you can even look at a Southampton side or even an Everton side struggling. You can say Calvert-Lewin shot on target.
Really, Tim Cahill every game. Yakubu against a big team.
Yeah,
you know Yakubu would disturb.
Can you actually put your money on that?
Yakubu. Yes.
No, but you can put
Yakubu,
the money.
my guy.
Yakubu is one of the best Nigerian players.
It was only Man United.
But do you know the one that would have been the easiest to predict back then?
Yeah.
The best. Real Madrid to from Champions the second round. Every season.
True.
Lyon.
True.
Roma.
That was the old days. Yeah. That was the old days.
Real Madrid to Real Madrid to collect 4 against Liverpool.
But could you predict, when you look at the Champions League, don't you think it was more difficult then?
No, it was difficult, right? But there were always trends. There was a time when it was Serie A teams always doing well in Champions League. Between 2005 and 2010, it was Premier League teams.
Yeah.
You have 3 Premier League teams in the semi-finals, or 4. 3 or 4 every season. So you end up in semi-finals, you have at least 2 Premier League teams or 3. Yeah. And they used to wipe everybody. That was the best era of the Premier League.
True.
After the 2010s, the level sort of
came
dropped.
down.
The biggest thing we need to consider from, when you switch from 2006 downward is technology as it came. For instance, when the VAR came, we saw more goals. Like many goals that in the past we just complain about it. Yeah, we'll moan about it. VAR will check it, and it's not. And like for instance, Opta now they started collating data after 2006.
Yeah,
so maybe they were like we did not have options like betting on possession, all those kind of things.
Now
they are there.
Yeah, and there are teams that
but
you
I feel
are
like
sure
if we had them there,
if
we had them there, I'm going to chop.
If I was like that possession, era, there are games that this team would always have possession.
Nowadays,
but if you had bet on Madrid yesterday, like let's say first half, Madrid to have more possession against Stuttgart, you would have lost because Stuttgart played like they were the owners of the Bernabeu.
You gave us tip that Stuttgart would win.
Yeah, I saw something in the spiritual realm, but
that was I guess
so, you have to choose one, then or now. Which are you going with? From you are a bet, or you could go back in time.
Nostalgia merchant.
You go with then.
Always then. Everything about before.
So which one do you think you make more money in it, then or now?
I think now, because of the options people would have, because let's say you are not really a football person as well, you can even bet on football games now because you have more options. Maybe you might not really want to go the one that has to do with history. Normally, if you watch,
you just know that football is a game where corners will happen.
Like the corners always go for. You look at this team that will give. So I think it's easier now. Unlike then, you needed to follow football a lot to know how to bet. But now, with the plenty options they have, I think it's easier.
Data available.
Yes.
So fast score and
it's easier now. For me, I think now it's easier.
I'm actually going to go with now too. To be fair. Yeah, you're left to your nostalgia.
Then, not me.
That's why Valencia goes to the
thank you. I'd have been betting on Valencia.
He's still living in the past. I'm out to score, actually.
I would have been betting on Valencia.
I'm out to score.
Oh, well. Anyway, tell us what you think.
Yeah.
Which would you have preferred if you were given the option of the 2000s, the 2010s, and now? Which do you think you'd have made the most profit from betting? But anyway, thank you for joining us today on this episode of this beautiful podcast with my co-stars, the inimitable Colade.
Give him his flowers now. Colade won, like, come on.
He's always winning. He's currently leading on the standings, and the person with 0 wins so far.
See, they say celebrate others when your own happens. It's gonna come in the bank. So
we are waiting.
No problem.
We are still waiting for your boom.
No problem.
And of course, me, Nostalgia Merchant, Sarah Brony, thank you very much for joining us. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, let us know what you think. Follow us on all social media platforms, engage with our posts. Thank you very much.
Don't snooze on our tips. You will win.
Your tips we no go enter. Okay. You still got to win.
Nice one.